Welcome to Perthshire Online TV with Gavin Stephen.
And Vyvyen Corrigan. So how are things with you this week?
Good, very, very good indeed. But it's been so changeable this week, hasn't it? The weather.
The weather's been up and down. You kind of feel like you're going out with a brolly and a sun hat and a pair of sunglasses at the one time.
I feel really sorry for people who are, on holiday here or camping, or it's really tough, isn't it? It is. It's very, very hard. And the school holidays will be coming up, and that's
a bit of pressure on everybody at that point. Listen, we'd just like to say from Perthshire Online TV, thank you very much to all our viewers and all the feedback that we've had, the great positive feedback that we've had, both locally and internationally as well, with regards to our filming of the recent Jubilee events and the Olympic torch relay as well. We were out on location quite a lot and put quite a lot of effort in around that, and thank you very much for all the positive responses.
It's good, isn't it, when you do hear back from everyone? So we do appreciate it, don't we? It was really good. It's nice to know everybody's enjoying it.
Exactly, and we always want to hear from you. I say this every week. We always want to hear from you. info@perthshireonline.co.uk, the Perthshire Online page on Facebook, or at Perthshire On Twitter, and we'll pick up any messages via those channels. So this week,
what have we got on?
Well, as we said, it's coming up for the summer, traditionally the summer holidays, although it doesn't really feel like it. And you've kind of got to have yourself prepared for a few things when it's summertime, haven't you? From a family perspective, you might be out in your car and you've got to be prepared not just for the picnic, but to make sure that you get from A to B quite securely and quite safely and in one piece. So we actually pick up with Pete Wood from D&G Autocare, who talks through some of the checks that you should be doing before you hop in the car for the day away or the long trek anywhere. And I think you picked up with somebody.
I did, to make sure that summer smile is in place. I had a lovely chat with Dino the Dentist. He came in and he gave us a few tips on how to keep those teeth looking lovely and glistening and white.
We say giving a big smile to the camera at this point in time. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Well, over the summer months, you've always got to make sure that for those long trips that you've got your car well prepared for the road. Now, it might be that you're actually going away on holiday, so maybe you're driving through to France, or it could be you're actually just got a week off and you're taking the kids away every day for some trips through to the Highland Games or the zoo or something like that. I'm delighted today that we've got Pete Wood of D&G Autocare with us, just to talk through some of the quick checks that you've got to consider before you go off for the day. Hi Pete, how are you doing?
Hi there. Yeah, fine.
How's business at the moment with D&G Autocare?
But business is good. We're getting there and looking up every month.
Good. So tell us, it's summertime. We're maybe going away on a long trip, we're driving to France, or you're maybe just going away every day for 3 or 4 days because the kids are off school. What's the kind of things that you've got to consider for making sure that you're not broken down at the side of the motorway?
Well, the first thing, and the simplest thing, is to do the safety checks for your long trips. Is just check your water levels, check your tyre pressures, check your oil levels. Just the basic things is always good to do. And
typically we're all a wee bit lazy drivers these days because and there's this panel in front of you and it's got lots of lights that show up. So do you wait till the light comes on, or is there something proactive you should be doing?
No, that's exactly what you shouldn't do. When the lights are coming on, it's telling you things are almost critical. So just once a week, lift the bonnet. Go over your washer levels, make sure you've got screen wash in there for cleaning the midges off the windscreens, and check your water levels for your radiator. Nowadays it's an expansion bottle, check the water that's at the correct level, and check your oil levels as well. Now, if you do find that there is a problem, that you have lost a lot of water from your water bottle, and it's more than just a top-up that you're needing, then you should really have that checked out, and you can do that at any of our D&G Autocare garages. We'll do that for you free.
Great. So, typically in the bit the harsher climate, people maybe aren't spending so much money on their service and quite as regularly as they would have done before. And if you've got an MOT done, you think that's fine. But how about the wee squeaks and things that happen that you maybe think are just as a consequence of you getting new brakes fitted or something?
Well, sure. The fact of the matter is, you should have your car serviced at least once a year. And after service, maybe a couple of months has gone past, if you do have a squeak or a noise, don't just turn up the radio. just get it checked out. It's better to do that in the long run.
So one of the things I'm completely unknowledgeable about is your tyres. So I think probably a few people are frightened these days. They think, well, I don't know how to check my tyre myself, and if I don't and I take it in somewhere, then the immediate default is going to be, I think you should get the tyres changed, and they're thinking, oh crikey, that's maybe £200 before I've even gone on holiday. So is there anything you can do just to do a wee self-check?
Well, there's a couple of things there. At D&G Autocare, we will give you the best prices in town for your tyres, so it's not going to break the bank when you come to D&G.
Good.
The other thing is, for visual inspections of your tyre, you can do yourself. Everybody knows what something looks like if it's wrong. They'll have that indication, that self-warning system will kick in. But providing you check your tyre pressures when the tyres are cold and not hot, and just have a good look around, and you're looking for any nicks or cuts that might be quite deep to the tyre. But the simplest thing to do to get a good appreciation of how good your tyres are is just to measure the tread. Now, you don't need a fancy tool to do that. A 20 piece is all you need. A 20 pence piece, sorry, is all you need for that. The 20 pence piece has a ridge around it which is about 1.6 millimetres, and that's your legal minimum for your tyre tread. So if you put that in the tread, if you can't see the edge, you've got more than the 1.6. If you can see the edge, you need to get the tyres checked out. Once again, just bring it into D&G and we'll do that for you free and give you honest advice about what the condition of your tyre is.
Fantastic. But Pete, D&G Autocare have got quite a lot of advice on their website as well.
Yeah, visit our website. There's lots of information you get there, and we can give you information on the short checks you can do before you do these long treks.
And you've said a few times that you can pop into the into one of the centres just for a quick little check for a certain amount of money? Or?
Really, what you would need to do is, if you phone the centre and you can book yourself in for a summer safety check, that's free of charge at D&G,
right, free.
No cost involved in that. And you can do it at any of our sites. We've got 9 sites now up and down the country, so you can visit our sites in Perth, Livingston, Stirling, or Glenrothes, Fife, and Inverkeithing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Pete, listen, thanks for coming along, and that's great advice. So there you go. Remember, if you're going out on any drives over the summer months, it might even just be for those Saturday, Sunday drives to go away to the Highland Games or go to one of the Highland shows or something like that. Remember to check the car as well as just checking all the picnic for the day. And if you need any advice, then I would suggest you pop along to see D&G.
Fairways provide cost-effective HR support, from contracts to recruitment, health and safety to training. Fairways, working with you, for you. Visit fairways-uk.com or call Perth 632 561 for a free consultation.
I did it Fairways.
Well, I'm delighted to be joined by Dino Loazidis. I hope that's correct,
no,
Dino.
That's very good, yeah.
More affectionately known to us as Dino the Dentist. Now, Dino's been in before, and he's come back to very kindly answer some viewers' questions that we've been sent in. So I hope you're ready for these, Dino.
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be. Good to be here again.
They're not too difficult. But right, we're going to open with, now this isn't always the most pleasant of subjects, but what causes bad breath?
Oh, crumbs. There's a number of causes for bad breath. The commonest one that most people are aware of course, is garlic and the morning after breath. Yeah. Now, that isn't a huge problem because with time that just goes away.
Yeah. Like the teeth. And so some people that wouldn't be viewed as bad breath.
No, it's not. But the bad breath issues that we're concerned with are what is halitosis. Yeah. And there's a number of contributing factors to halitosis. Commonly, people will have decayed teeth, holes in their teeth, and that just fills up with food and bacteria, and that just rots away and gives off a very bad odour. Yeah. Undiagnosed gum disease, again, that will lead to bacteria building up around the gum line, and again, that will produce odours which are very unpleasant and lead to gum disease. Those are the commonest dental reasons. Now, sometimes, however, there are underlying health issues which will produce some form of bad breath halitosis.
Like what, for example?
For example, diabetes.
Right.
So if somebody is diabetic and they are having a problem with the metabolism and the breakdown of the sugars in their body, instead of breaking down sugars, they will break down fats, and these fats will produce ketone bodies, and these ketone bodies can be quite smelly. Right. So if somebody's got undiagnosed diabetes, that can be quite serious, and sometimes one of the manifestations of that, the early manifestations of that, is bad breath. So get that checked out.
Right, so it's not just a case, if we know of somebody, or say it's a member of our family, because often that's when you notice it, does suffer from bad breath, if it's not down to just the usual reasons, then it really could be a sign of something a lot more serious, and really should get it checked out. Right, the next question that we have, now this is quite an unusual one, are what are dentures made of? I don't know who thought about that question. Maybe that was Gavin.
Probably.
Because, I think nowadays of dentures maybe being for the older generation. Would I be correct in saying that?
No, I wish you were. To answer the first question, what are dentures made of? Dentures are made of plastic, acrylic. There's lots of names for them. Wally's is the commonest one. But dentures are made of plastic. Now, you asked, is it mainly older people? And unfortunately, it's not the older generation that has dentures. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a significant number of younger people who are losing teeth, primarily because they don't put a high value on their oral health, and they just don't look after their teeth. They just don't see it as important, and this is a tragedy for the whole of Scotland and the UK.
Now, talking about dental health, now let's face it, flossing is like Chinese torture, isn't it? Do you floss, Dino?
Of course I floss. I'm a dentist, and I have to practice what I preach. Flossing is not the easiest of things to do.
No.
Okay.
Why do people hate flossing so much? They brush, but they don't floss.
Yes, I think it's a manual dexterity thing. Trying to get a short piece of floss tied between your index fingers and then your thumbs, and trying to stick it to the back of your mouth, and then trying to squeeze it in between two tightly packed teeth without making yourself gag or retch can be quite difficult. Yeah. So most people would rather avoid that. But there are ways around flossing using your fingers. You can buy what we call flossettes, and all it is just a piece of plastic, looks like a prong, with a short thread of floss between it. And you just hold it between your index finger and your thumb, and you can clean between the teeth quite easily.
Oh, that's good.
So that's a really good way of doing it. You can also get TPs, brand name, which are like bottle brushes. But tiny little bottle brushes, and again they fit between the spaces between your teeth.
Do you recommend this is again a daily ritual?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Your oral health regime should be brush your teeth twice a day with fluoridated toothpaste. Yeah. Okay, for at least 2 minutes. Okay, and then floss at least once a day. Whether it's in the morning or whether it's in the evening, I don't mind. But get that floss. Get the contact point between the teeth cleaned out.
Going back to mouthwashes.
My pets, yeah.
Do we have to really? Is it important?
My honest and humble opinion.
Can we believe the adverts?
My honest and humble and personal opinion is that you don't need to use a mouthwash every day. Right. Let's ask ourselves, why are we using a mouthwash? Most people use a mouthwash because they like that nice, fresh, tingly feeling that they get with the mouthwash. That nice, tingly feeling that you get is usually because there's alcohol in the mouthwash. Okay, so it just gives you that tingling sensation. That tingling sensation goes away fairly quickly. Okay, and then you have the fresh, minty breath. But again, that fresh minty breath is because there's chemicals in the mouthwash which evaporate off. But once they've evaporated, it's gone. So that fresh minty taste, smell that you get is only lasting 5-10 minutes. Right. And after that, there's nothing. Yes. Okay. So
it doesn't replace, because let's face it, we all know the kids or the teenagers have a quick with a mouthwash. Yes, I've brushed my teeth, and we know fine that they haven't.
No.
So this doesn't replace brushing, is what I'm saying. No.
The only way to effectively clean your teeth is get stuck in there with your toothbrush and the toothpaste and the floss. Right. But no, mouthwashes alone are not the answer.
They're not the answer.
Don't get me wrong, we do prescribe mouthwashes, but I tend to prescribe specific mouthwashes for a specific condition for a specific amount of time. Okay. And it's prescribed.
Excellent. Very good. Well, that answers that question, doesn't it? Now, the next one is about mouth ulcers, because a lot of people suffer from mouth ulcers. Now, what causes these? And is it just an irritation, or can it be serious?
It can be serious. The majority of mouth ulcers are what we call idiopathic. They just happen for no good reason. Some ulcers are traumatic, so you're brushing your teeth, the toothbrush slips, you cut the gum, it will develop into an ulcer.
Okay.
You bite into a crisp, a hot chip, you burn your mouth, it causes an ulcer. These will normally disappear within about a week, 10 days. There is another condition called aphthous oral ulceration.
You need the right teeth in to say that.
No, I need to get a new dentist. And this is not uncommon. Normally, the underlying cause for that is just an immune disorder. And again, that is usually managed with steroids and steroid mouthwashes. But again, that needs to be diagnosed by a professional, either your dentist or your GP.
Say someone had a mouth ulcer that just wasn't going away.
Yeah. Mouth ulcers most mouth ulcers, I say, will last a week, 10 days, and they will then disappear. Okay? Any mouth ulcer that is lasting more than a week, 10 days, needs to be checked out, because unfortunately in the UK, one of the biggest killers after breast cancer and lung cancer is mouth cancer. And mouth cancer is very easy to diagnose, and it's quite easy to treat in the early stages. If you leave it for more than, if you don't get it diagnosed quickly, then treatment of mouth cancer can be quite aggressive, it can be quite debilitating, and it can be, the outcome is pretty poor.
Yeah, so it is important to get that checked out.
So any mouth ulcer that's been there for more than a week, I would say, look, go see your dentist. Chances are it's not cancer. Chances are it's just a traumatic or idiopathic ulcer, as I said. Yeah. But get it checked out.
Get it checked out, yeah.
Don't gamble with your health.
Absolutely. Now, we hear a lot about tooth whitening, don't we? You know, buy certain toothpaste and you're going to get the glowing Hollywood smile, if you believe that one. But you can get, you know, various tooth whitening formulas. You can even buy it on the internet.
Yep.
Now, what is your sort of stand on this? First of all, can these toothpastes really deliver what they say?
They can deliver what they say, it's just the degree to what they deliver which varies.
Right.
Okay. The amount of the whitening agent in any of the toothpaste has got to be quite low by law. So a lot of toothpaste will have a whitening effect, but it will not be the same whitening effect as you will get from a professionally applied system, whether that's laser whitening or the trade system that we've been discussing earlier on, that is carried out by a professional like a dentist.
Yes, you've got to go to your dentist and you get a gum shield made, and
the stuff that you so the toothpaste will work, but the most effective way is to get the properly prescribed stuff from your dental
right. Now we mentioned the internet.
We did mention the internet, and yes, you go on the internet and you Google tooth whitening and you will come up with a plethora of things. Go on eBay and you will find a whole bunch of stuff. My concern about buying tooth whitening agents off the internet is they are not regulated.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be regulated. Anybody can sell you anything. So you don't know what you're buying. You've got no comeback, you've got no regulation. And the commonest agent that we use for tooth whitening is hydrogen peroxide, okay, which in normal concentrations doesn't cause any major issues. And another whitening agent that is sometimes used is sodium hydroxide, which is caustic soda. And again, in the concentrations that it's used in the toothpaste and the whitening agents that your dental practice will prescribe, they're perfectly safe. Yeah. But I know of cases where people have bought tooth whitening agents off the internet and the caustic soda concentration in that was horrendously high, and people have suffered chemical burns.
I can feel my teeth going soft at the thought of it.
I know. So for the sake of saving a few pounds,
that's a good point.
Why would you put yourself through that?
I mean, you could seriously damage your teeth, and then what do you do? Then you're having to come to someone like you to get the problem sorted.
To get the problem sorted, and as I said to you, we also don't know. Well, talking about we don't know what's in it. When we've got the trays inside your mouth with the whitening agent that we will prescribe for you, it sits in contact with your teeth, and that's fine. But some of it will leach out of the trays; it's inevitable, and you will be swallowing that. Yeah. Okay. Now, again, the stuff that we're using, if you swallow it, it's not going to harm you. But do you really want to be swallowing caustic soda and God knows what?
Well, it's poison.
Yeah. So
Well,
I wouldn't.
No, that's very, very good point. Thank you very much indeed for joining us in the studio, and we'll get some more questions for you next time.
That's okay. Thank you for your time again. Good to see you again.
Well, that's us all set for summer then, isn't it?
Yeah, and just to keep the record straight, mines are all real. Mines are all real.
What a cheek.
No intent meant
We could get you a discount, I'm sure.
Well, you know that we always like to get out and about in Perthshire Online TV, whether it's hail, rain, sun or snow. We like to get out in the Perthshire geography. And this weekend we actually popped up to Kenmore to catch up with the end of the Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge.
I know, and that was a brilliant event, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I think it was, now let me get this right, it was a 16-mile run or walk and followed by a 39-mile cycle. And
500 people.
Fantastic. And those guys did brilliantly, and some of them really dressed for the event as well, so just fantastic.
So enjoy this little piece.
Yeah.
At the Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge event here, held in beautiful Highland Perthshire, organised by Wildfox events, and we're just waiting for all the cyclists to finish and to come in. But I should warn viewers, there's a shocking amount of lycra.
I'm delighted that we're joined by Caroline Anderson, who's actually from Martin Currie, the sponsor of the Rob Roy Challenge. So Caroline, tell us a bit about, have you got a big team in for today's event?
We have actually. We've got about 60 people, 20 people supporting.
Fantastic.
So they've come up and given up their time today just to help support the participants along. And we've got about 40 participants taking part this year. So yeah, got a lot of people. And
have you not had your running shoes and your cycling gear on?
Not this year. It's been a few years since I've done it. It's a fantastic event. It's really manageable for all ages and all fitness. So it's not a race. It's a challenge. So
fantastic, and it's great that Mark Currie sponsoring the whole event as well. Super. Listen, well done, because you've had quite a busy day.
A very busy day, yes.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.
Well, we've caught up with the First Lady who has crossed the finishing line, and I'm here with Hayley White from Martin Currie. Well done, Hayley. Was that tough?
It was.
What was the worst bit?
The cycle part, probably. I really enjoyed the run.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of running anyway, so I just enjoyed that, but it was a cycle
You
part.
made a fantastic time. I mean, that was brilliant. You were very quick.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I just wanted to finish it towards the end.
Yeah, you just want it over with, don't you? Oh, that's great. Well, listen, well done, you.
Thank you
And
very
the
much.
name of your team, I love the name of your team. What is it?
London Bikes.
London Bikes. That's excellent. Well done.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, it's not very often I'm surrounded by a bunch of superheroes, but I am here with Team Marvel, who are taking part in the Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge here in the beautiful Highlands of Kenmore. So how was it for you guys?
It's brilliant, fantastic. Yeah,
And you've got Mark Beaumont in your team. You must have been delighted that you joined.
Massive honour.
It was a real privilege.
It was great fun. We
How
helped us round.
difficult was it? Was it hard going?
It was. When I woke up this morning and it was pouring with rain, I thought we were going to be in trouble out there, but it was okay. You know, it stayed cool. We got pretty wet at times, but it didn't really matter. It was good camaraderie.
Spirits were high.
Yeah. Spirits were high.
But it is a tough challenge. I mean, this isn't just an easy bike ride, is it?
No.
I mean, it is hard going.
It's a bit of everything. Okay, so you've got a single track in there. You've obviously got tarmac roads. You've got some land cover track. It's a bit of everything, and then of course to round it off, you've got to run 16 miles to start with. So
It's unrelenting. That's unrelenting, and it's for a good cause. There's lots of charities taking part, so that's amazing. And well done. Do you think you'll do it next year?
oh, definitely. I think so.
This is a
third one this year, so maybe go for number 4 again. These guys are veterans. I mean, they've done it 3 times before. So to get involved, I mean, this is right on the doorstep for me in terms of training and adventure. So it's quite amazing to see a new route like that.
Just I've seen you at the beginning of the month, and you were wearing your face paint and your kilt for the Perth Kilt Run. At the end of the month, you're wearing his Spider-Man costume. Is there a bit of a theme going on here?
Yeah, it doesn't take much convincing to get me into fancy dress.
Well, I know you're coming into the studio and you're going to have an interview. And could I just say smart casual would be fine?
I'll dig out my lycra.
Hello, I'm Caroline. I'm here with Athletes Angels. We are organising all the physio and massage for the Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge. We're going to have a really busy day ahead, definitely. I've only got a few therapists on working just now because these guys have come in so fast. We've had to start early. So very impressed with the cyclists and runners behind me. We're here all day till 9 o'clock tonight, maybe 10 o'clock depending on when the last participant comes in. So I'm hoping they're all doing really well out on the course. That's us. Hi, I'm Lucy Christopher from Alzheimer's Scotland and we're delighted to be at this year's Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Westray and we're delighted to be part of this year's Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge. Hi, my name's Elaine Bailey. I'm from the NSPCC and we're delighted to be part of this year's Martin Currie Rob Roy Challenge.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, so I'm joined with Extreme Team here, who have started together and finished together, crossed the line together.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. It was very tough. The weather wasn't helping. A few low points, but happy to complete it. Happy to cross the line together. Feeling great now. So.
Excellent. And I believe this is your second year in a row?
Yeah, second year doing it. I think our time was the same, but the weather's been better this year, so cannot complain at all. The sun's trying to get through. So.
Yeah, definitely. And so where are you guys from?
From Bishopton, which is just outside Glasgow Airport, so 14 miles or so from Glasgow. So
okay.
I'm from there, all grew up there.
And you obviously think it's worth the travel through?
It's worth the travel through. It's a well organised event. It's 3 great charities, so yeah, it's a fun day, and like I said, the weather's good.
And you're big into your fundraising?
Yeah, we did a charity football match. It raised a good bit of money, as well as a charity casino night. So we raised just over £2,500 between the 4 of us.
£2,500 is pretty good for
it. It was good. A lot of work involved, but it was worth it.
Excellent, guys. Well, by looking at your faces, you all need a shower.
Shower and a beer.
I won't mention the smell.
No.
But thanks for joining us.
No problem at all. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Well, here we are at the Rob Roy Challenge, and we've already got 2 finalists with us, and it's hardly just past 1 o'clock. We've got
Steve Grant.
Steve Grant from Edinburgh.
From Edinburgh, yeah.
So what brings you along to this? Do you do it every year, Steve?
This is my second year doing it. First year it was soaking wet, bit of a challenge, so fancied doing it again, hoping it was sunny.
And it's not sunny, but at least it's dry still at this point in time. And are you part of a team or?
Part of a team, so I work at JP Morgan, so the JP Morgan team there.
Fantastic. And are all the teammates in yet?
No, not at all. So
you're the first?
I watched them first one in and watched them come in. So there's the medal, yeah.
Well done.
Thank you
good effort. And we've got Frank who runs the Balmoral Hotels in Edinburgh as well. But it's actually from whereabouts in France are you from originally?
Strasbourg.
Strasbourg,
but I'm part of a team as well from Martin Currie.
Oh right, fantastic. Who are the sponsors for the day as well? So do you come every year to do the event? Or?
It's first time.
Are you enjoying it?
Absolutely. I came here for the weather.
You came here for the weather? Yeah, you know, you can never be guaranteed the weather in Highland Perthshire as you can in Edinburgh either. But it's a great event, isn't it?
Actually, it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, good.
It was alright. You know, you're ready to suffer, have a little pain. We got it.
But you got it. And it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You've got the rest of the day to enjoy yourself. Listen, guys, well done.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Dino the Dentist from Dental Care in Perth, and my practice are supporting D&G, which is a competition to provide a lucky winner in Perth with a complete makeover. Our practice, the prize that we are offering is a tooth whitening course, and hopefully in association with the other companies that are involved in this, we are going to hopefully transform somebody's life and their whole appearance and make them look 10 years younger and make them look like $1 million.
Hi, I'm Martin from Martin Ward Photography. I'd like to be part of the Dream Makeover competition. We thought it would be a great idea for the winner to get some images that she cherished for her lifetime. And with that in mind, we look forward to meeting the winner, whoever that will be.
Well, I told you I would get my adventurer on this week's show, and I got several of them, didn't I?
I think they were all adventurers,
They were.
actually.
They did brilliantly. Fantastic.
So, from my adventurer's perspective,
Yes.
interview-wise, we caught up with the well-known face around Perth, Rev Scott Burton, who's quite a little adventurer himself. We pick up with Scott, and we've had a chat with him, plus we also chat with Darren Clarkson-King. Now, Darren's not from Perthshire, he actually lives in North Wales, and his claim to fame as an adventurer is that he's the only man in the world to have kayaked down the rivers of Mount Everest solo.
Wow.
So, over to our adventures. Yeah. Well, today I'm joined in the studio by somebody quite well known in and around Perth. It's the Reverend Scott Burton from St Matthew's Church in Tay Street. But we're not here today to talk about Scott's 9-to-5 job. We're actually here to talk about his sporting passion. So, Scott, welcome to Perthshire Online TV.
Gavin, hello, thank you very much for having me. It's lovely to be here.
So, the first thing I've got to ask is, having listened to the voice, it's not a Perth or a Perthshire accent. Okay. So, where are you from originally?
I'm a Glasgow boy. Yeah, born and raised under the Hampden Road, right beside Hampden Park. It's been a long time since I've been in Glasgow now, though. I've lived in Crieff and Oban and Aberdeen, indeed. Studied at St Andrews Uni, Aberdeen Uni, and then became minister at Kelty in West Fife for 7 years. And 5.5 years ago, I came to St Matthew's on Tay Street, and just delighted to be here.
And how are you enjoying the new city?
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, that's right. We've got city status now, haven't we? And it's wonderful. Yes, it's lovely to be a minister in a city centre church. Love it here. Love working with the people I'm working with in the church and the community. I absolutely love raising my children here. My wife works in the area too, so we're very, very happy indeed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's move away from St Matthew's Church for a moment, and let's talk about the non-reverend Scott Burton and his hobby outside of the 9-to-5 job. Although I'm sure being a reverend isn't a 9-to-5 job anyway, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Indeed.
What inspired you to do extreme kayaking? Was that something you've been doing for years?
No, that's a strange thing. I really just realised that I needed a hobby. I'd been working 7 years down in Kelty and found that church and work was just kind of taking over, and we all need something to get away from all these kind of things.
Sometimes work can just become life consuming to some extent.
Well, it can, and you just to get that work-life balance. So, realising that Tay, the River Tay, Scotland's biggest river, is on the doorstep of St Matthew's Church, I thought, hey, maybe there's something there that I can get a hobby out of, and I simply looked up Perth Canoe Club online, and well, the rest, as they say, is history.
So, you've written a book. Holy White Water.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that then, because when I did my background research, I know you'd written this book, but I understand you feel there's quite an alignment between your faith or your religion and your sport, so your hobby. So give us a wee bit of an overview.
That's the irony. That's the irony, isn't it? Because I'd taken up kayaking for recreation to get away from all, not to get away from my faith. My faith is with me all the time, but to have a different kind of dimension. And lo and behold, what happened, Gavin, was I was up at Stanley in Perthshire. I was trying to surf on the weir. I capsized and I banged my head off a rock. I had a helmet on, of course, but it gave me a fright, and I drove away that night back into Perth wondering, do I want to do this anymore? It's quite frightening, quite risky. And then I realised in the Bible it says, do not be afraid, lots of times. And that just started a whole chain of thought on kayaking and faith. And as I say, as you rightly say, the Holy White Water has grown out of that. From the point of view, we would call it, in Scotland, we call the Bible the Guide Book. Well, in kayakers, we have the guidebook for the river. When you capsize, you go upside down and you have to turn round again. You've probably heard the phrase, repent, the end is nigh. Repentance just simply means turning round and going the right way after you've made a mistake. So there's lots of things like that. The journey of life, we have a source. The river has a source. Holy White Water talks about all these things, and it's been fascinating just to develop that kind of chain of thought.
And you're doing that there's a contribution towards a good cause from that as well.
Well, that's right, yes. St Matthew's is very keen we're a landmark church. Everyone recognises the spire of St Matthew's right between the two bridges in Perth on the Tay. And 1871's when the building went up. It's a very vibrant congregation, but the building inside could really do with some refurbishment. So we're going to need something like £500,000, and the book is all the profits are going towards that. I'm delighted to say I'm going out to Colorado in the summer of 2012, and I'll be doing some work with a church in Denver there. They've asked me to take some of their church members down the Colorado River on a spiritual retreat. So inevitably I'll be hoping to sell a few copies there, and it can be bought on Amazon, downloaded for Kindle. All the technology we have now, it's fantastic.
So you've got a great blend between that passion now and your 9-to-5 job a little bit as well?
Very much so. As much as anything else, the friendships that I've made from people in Perth Canoe Club have just been wonderful, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
And you were entertaining quite a well-known guest quite recently. For our viewers' perspective, St Matthew's Church actually hosted Darren Clarkson-King. Now, Darren is the, if I'm correct in saying this, is the only man in the world to have extreme kayaked down all the rivers from Mount Everest solo. So that was quite an evening.
That's been a wonderful thing. Darren and I had never met each other. He's interested in the spirituality of the river. I'm interested in the spirituality of the river. I happen to be a Christian. He happens to be a Buddhist. But that doesn't come between us in any way, shape or form. And you know, Gavin, what an honour it was to have Darren Clarkson-King come and speak at St Matthew's Church. Inspirational story. Inspirational.
Great. Well, Scott, thank you very much for your time, and it's been a pleasure having you in the Picture Online TV studio, and we hope to see you back in again soon. But before we leave this theme, we came down to the church and did a short interview with Darren just before he entertained the masses that evening. So let's move across and catch up with Darren Clarkson-King. Darren Clarkson-King.
Writer, adventurer, extreme kayaker, inspirational speaker. We're joined this evening by Darren Clarkson-King. Hi Darren. Darren is the only man in the world to have actually kayaked all the rivers down Everest solo. So, quite a portfolio career.
It's not just tootling on the canal, is it?
So, give us a little bit of a background about the man, Mr. Clarkson-King, because it's a big portfolio career. I mean, you seem to do so many things. So.
It started off, I took up kayaking in a local canoe club, Pennine Canoe Club in Yorkshire, and the Scouts. And it was sort of just a hobby that sort of stayed there. I went to university and got all sort of proper jobs, in offices and that sort of thing. But kayaking was always my passion. And as the years have progressed, I've just moved forward, and I've kayaked in the Himalayas extensively in Pakistan and the Hindu Kush, and I just like to sort of move forward and paddle harder and harder rivers.
So, but Darren, it's a highly dangerous sport. It's not the kind of thing that you just waking up in the one morning and go, I'm going to do extreme kayaking. What on earth inspired you to do something like that?
As I've got older, for me, kayaking is not about paddling harder and harder rivers. It's about where it takes me inside. So it can be on the flattest lake or the still sea, but it's about where it takes me, where the moments of the blind horizon lines on waterfalls, or just the difference between the flat calm of the eddy and the moving flow. It's about that special moment where nothing matters, and yet everything matters.
Yeah,
and that's why it happens. Why I do it.
So how there's physical capability in something that you do, but equally there must be fear. There's the unknown. There's an inner strength. So how do you prepare yourself mentally for that kind of thing?
I practice meditation on a daily basis. As a practicing Buddhist, and through the meditation, I've learnt to control what I call anxiety. I don't call it fear, because I think to say fear is the wrong word. Because it's like people that say I'm scared of cancer but continue to smoke. For me to be scared and fearful of kayaking, I'm choosing to kayak. So I don't use the word fear, I use anxiety. So I've learnt to control the level of anxiety.
Right, okay.
And to trust my own ability and have faith in what I can do and where I put myself. So in chasing these goals of canoeing down Everest, is to basically jam the doors open and my faith and where I sit personally. and meditation has helped me to balance all that.
And does your faith play quite a strong thread through those
Of course,
types of
yeah. I
things?
mean, it's a faith in myself. It's not an external faith. It's a faith in my own ability and my own resolve to get out of situations. You know, the Walden Gorges of British Columbia and Alaska takes a different sort of mental capability than paddling on the Tay outside.
Yeah.
But it's those places that I chase, and I can chase them forever, and I know I'll never find the answers.
So has there been a highlight over? I mean, you've been extreme kayaking for over 20 years now.
Yeah, I've been paddling a long time.
What's the high? What's something that would kind of stick in your brain that you think, gosh, that was something special?
Yeah, there's a river in northern British Columbia called the Stikine. It's 3 days of some of the hardest white water on the planet. And that sticks in mind. But what really sticks in mind is the first time I went paddling properly, and it wasn't just falling out of the boat and getting wet, it was actually controlled. And that sticks in my mind, and the times when I can make that move on the river that I've been trying to make for years, and they all stick in my mind. But the Stikine in British Columbia is really important to me, and big waterfalls like the Falls of Llanberis, they're really important.
And next challenges?
I never say never. I'd love to go back to the Stikine. It's got a special place for me. The rivers of the Himalayas, I work there now, so it's a little bit tainted by work. It still holds magic, but it's a little bit tainted by work. I'd love to go to places like Afghanistan to explore. They've got some really amazing countryside, and I think we need to open up that spectrum of paddling. And yes, we've got disputes in places like that, but we can still go there and recreation.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your visit to Perth. I don't know, is it the first time that you've been here?
I've been here a few times.
Right. Well, and it's been a pleasure speaking.
Oh, thank you.
that's been a great show again.
It has indeed.
Yeah, really good.
So what are you up to over the next week then? Where are you out and about to?
Well, I'm out and about. I'm going to be doing our favourite food feature, which is really good. And also I've got a financial advisor coming into the studio as well. So yeah, I'm going to put some pretty tough questions to him, I think.
Very good.
Well, I'm not, but...
You're going to try.
I'll try.
And it's the Dream makeover competition final coming up this week. I think the final's on this Saturday at the Loft. So we will be down there doing some filming and picking up with some of the sponsors and some of the competitors and the winner as well. Yeah. So that should be good. I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Really, really good.
Remember, keep in touch with us. We said this at the start of the show. We'll repeat the details again just now. We want to hear from you. We are very much an embracing community channel in Perthshire, and it's about not just the city of Perth, but the bigger Perthshire geography as well, the Perth and Kinross area. So you can catch us on info@perthshireonline.co.uk. You can catch us on Twitter @PerthshireOn, or you can follow our Facebook page, which is Perthshire Online. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah.
Catch you then.